Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Rao coming to you from my conference room. And this morning I have Mark Mowery from J.P. McCaskey, who will be talking to us a bit about how to work with your teenage students. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning. How are you, Dr. Rao?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you.
Good. I know your son is 21, so he's a bit older than our typical teens in our high schools, but we know that developmentally speaking, teenagers are going through a lot right now. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. It's been my experience that like the social emotional development stuff that teenagers are dealing with right now and that have been so compromised by the shutdown and by the stay-at-home orders, I think a lot of the outlets that teenagers took for granted, maybe, the outlets, school being obviously one of them, but even activities like church, work, other hobbies and recreation, they're having to kind of adjust that and kind of find a way to fill that void that they may have when they were just so used to, coming to school and getting that connection made with their peers and certainly with the teachers and staff. So now I think what happens is we as parents, we have to help them find other creative ways to find those outlets so that they can continue to, move forward in whatever fashion and keep those, keep the juices flowing, so to speak. And I think it's been easier for some students that have that, that creativity, if you will, that level of like thinking outside the box. We have a lot of students that, rely heavily on the routine and the structure that the school building provides and all that, from jumping on the bus or getting out of the house to walk to school to getting home or getting to practice. And some of those students are struggling a little bit, trying to find that alternative way of releasing their energy and finding those positive outlets to keep themselves motivated and moving forward.
So how can we, SDOL staff, support our high school students during this time?
Well, I think by engaging them, with the online instruction that we've put in place and providing them with those challenging opportunities academically, that can, keep them in a mind frame of learning, because as we know, as we talk about all the time, learning is a lifelong endeavor. It's not just, K to 12 and from 7 to 3. So we want to make sure that we as staff, and certainly I think from what I've seen, the transition to online distance learning as a campus has been wonderful in the short time that we've had to put it in place. So I think continuing to engage those students with challenging opportunities can obviously help them move forward. And then also, looking at the fact that this is an unprecedented time for everyone. There's nobody that can, maybe there's somebody that's 120 years old somewhere that's been through the Spanish flu in 1918, but there's nobody that we can talk to that has had this particular experience. So we're all going through this together. And I think the staff and here at SDOL, just reassuring our students that we'll find a way to get through this. The conclusion and what it looks like on the other side, we may not know, but we're going to work together so that when this is through and we've found a way to get back to whatever normal may be, that we're all going to do it together. And I think what that allows us to say, what, this is unprecedented and we've gotten through it. So now you can look at that as something where the student and the family and the school district is better equipped to meet challenges in the future that might come. And certainly, as we know, there'll be challenges in the future.
Right. And so, we are all a lot stronger than when we started this. And I think It's important for our students to understand that we also are struggling through this and maybe show a little vulnerability with them that, Yeah, we're all learning this together. I was
Right.
telling someone yesterday, you know, I didn't take a course on how to handle a pandemic. So this is all new for all of us. And so giving
Yeah.
ourselves a break and reassuring our kids that, we don't know how we're doing this either, but we're going to do it together.
That's right.
So, Mark, I know that teenagers in particular are going through some developmental changes, right?
Mhm.
And
Yes.
when they're in school, it's tough enough for parents as they come to learn what their new child is becoming, because they're becoming
Yes.
young adults. So how can parents support teens so that there's peace in the home?
My advice would be to work real hard at establishing the routine, putting in the structure that the typical school day and school year provides for our students. Work real hard at getting that established. And that can be very difficult because, as we mentioned, this is unprecedented. But, you know, making the time, and certainly our curriculum allows for that kind of division of time, but getting that structure, the support out there so that kids know, like, hey, even though this is, you know, you can't go outside and maybe go apply for a job like we used to, there's still opportunities for you to be productive and for you to learn and grow. And whether that's in a work environment, maybe at Giant or Weiss or something like that right now with with those folks, or whether it's making masks or learning a new talent or something like that, those opportunities exist, and we just have to kind of work together to make sure that, you know, we're really kind of staying engaged and making that part of that routine. Because even though, you know, students, you know, and kids talk about, you know, how much their parents are on them or something like that, they gave that structure and that support, and they rely on it. They may not come out and say that, but I think we know that helps them to kind of get through their day and get through challenges, you know, whatever they may be.
Yeah. I remember being told, pick your fight, because it's going to be so difficult. You're in your house 24/7.
Yeah.
And as you said, the students in particular, they need to feel like they're being challenged at the same time that they're being asked to do something totally different. So whether it's a job or, like you said, exploring something and doing something good, like making masks.
Yeah.
I've seen that a lot of students are starting to do that. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. We had the one young lady that went around to the seniors.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a creative way to kind of say, you know what, we haven't forgotten about you. You're important, and we want to hear your story. And those kind of things really, really kind of provide some real positive feedback, not only to the person that's engaging in that activity, but the people that see it. I love seeing it. That was wonderful. And even right now we have the Stone is promoting the seniors on Lancaster Online. I just was looking at their photos in just one day. There's 50 photos that I've seen. So those kind of things are really, really awesome to see.
Yeah, that the community is also supporting us. That's so true.
Of course.
So I also know that during this shelter in place, you can kind of get stir crazy being at your house all day. And so this is a difficult time, not just for students, but for adults too. So what should parents be on the lookout for when it comes to their child's mental health? And if they have concerns, what should they do?
Well, I think what you're looking for is extreme changes in behavior. And you're looking for, if somebody is withdrawing, not engaging in their normal activities that they're able to, I go right to video games or music or something like that. Or if they're, if you see that their behavior is such where they're just not able to bring themselves to engage in something that they typically would. I think if that's a situation where you want to make sure that you're contacting somebody, and depending on how critical it appears, I mean, obviously there's a difference between like an emergent situation where somebody may have a physical limitation or symptoms, But if it's something where they need more support, then obviously we as a district have so many wonderful people and wonderful resources available to students and families that I really highly recommend that you pick up the phone and just call the high school and ask to speak to a principal, counselor. The student family resource specialists are great. And there's so many people that can help you find that resource and that support, even if we're not sure what it is immediately.
Yeah, that's really a good idea. And I want to remind our parents that although our physical buildings are closed, we are checking our voicemail and our email
Absolutely.
Every day. And so, yes, as Mr. Mowery said, please call us or email, whether it's a teacher or the principal or a school counselor. There are people there who are willing and able and ready to support you and your child, especially in the areas of mental health, because it is a hard time for everyone.
Absolutely. And as far as we have a lot of students that have a relationship with school-based counseling through of our community agencies. A lot of those agencies are doing telehealth, electronic, digital counseling sessions and support. So those are something that we can still connect families to, even though they may not be able to physically meet their counselor or physically fill out an application. We can still work to connect them to those resources pretty quickly, I think, in most cases.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I think this was really helpful. Just to reiterate that parents, if you're having any sorts of concerns or your children are feeling more challenged and you're worried about that, please go ahead and call your school or email your child's teacher or school counselor or SFRS. Our buildings are closed, as I said, but our phone lines are open, and so is our email. So thank you, Mr. Mowery. Really appreciate you being here with us and very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day and stay safe.
Thanks. You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.